folks, and welcome back to the farm. Boy, it is an absolutely gorgeous evening out here on the farm this evening. As you can see, the sun's just beaming down. I did predict earlier this year we're going to get an early fall, and yes, we did. But it wasn't the kind of fall that we typically have, where it's really only like 2 days and then all the leaves fall on the ground and then it snows. It's actually absolutely gorgeous. The weather's warm. I mean, it's not t-shirt weather, but you can put a sweater on. You're not having to bundle up in your big parka and your toque and all that stuff. It's absolutely glorious. So now, as years go, I would say this one's pretty well flown right by. And, you know, if you're to follow the old cliche, well, time flies when you're having fun. Well, it's fair assumption to say that there isn't too many people, ourselves included, that had a ton of fun this year. There really wasn't a lot of opportunities out there. Where does time fly? Time flies when you're at work. That's where time flies. And that's what I want to talk about today is when you're on the homestead, this is a lifestyle choice, right? This is what it's all about, is you want to be able to come home, enjoy your chickens, enjoy your sheep, your goats, emus, whatever it is you're working on. Maybe it's just, you know, your vegetable garden. It's being able to enjoy that. When you go to work, are you just coming home to go to bed? Or are you able to give yourself the time you need to really rest, relax, unwind from whatever day you've had? Or are you just, like I said, just working to come home and go to bed? So in yesterday's video, I talked about, well, pretty much just not spending money like an idiot in order to survive and be somewhat successful in your homestead. But money's not the be-all, end-all. No, absolutely not. Money, really, well, it's inconsequential. It has an impact, absolutely. But the be-all, end-all is time. It's your greatest limiting factor. It's not the weather. It's not your finances. It's not your infrastructure. It's all about time, because that's the one thing in our life that is absolutely finite. It's also the one thing that we, not only do we waste willingly, but quite often we pay to waste it willingly. You know, your Netflix subscriptions, things like that, where you're just sitting there, just sit in front of a plasma screen and watch your brain melt away into nothingness. When in reality, you could actually be out there working for and accomplishing your dreams with all that time. You know, imagine, sit down and watch The Lord of the Rings or The Godfather or, you know, one of these 3-hour movies. How much stuff you could actually do and accomplish. Now, don't get me wrong, rest and relaxation is absolutely necessary, 100%. But when it becomes habitual to the point where it's actually, I guess, inhibitive to you actually accomplishing anything, when it becomes that you spend more time sitting on your behind than you do actually working for your dreams and your goals, well, it's not rest and relaxation anymore. It's just wasted time. Now, when it comes to work, because I know there's a lot of us out there, ourselves included, that have to work off farm, basically to build and sustain everything that's going on in the homestead here. That's a perfectly normal, natural thing. And I'm not saying don't go to work and spend your whole day at home trying to, you know, raise your sheep or whatever. You know, people got to work, absolutely. But I am saying, you know, when you're thinking about picking up that overtime shift because you're thinking, well, that's going to get you that much closer to getting the next critter or whatever it might be, think about what it costs you to earn that money. Now, that might seem like a strange statement, but if you take a day off work, you're going to lose whatever your hourly wage is times however many hours you work in a day. Maybe it's a couple $100, maybe, you know, who knows, whatever it is, right? So that you lose your total day rate, right? Essentially. But you work an overtime shift. And what do you really take home at the end of it? Well, when you think after deductions, taxes, all that jazz, you know, well, you're not walking home with an extra $200. You're walking home with $30. So you spent a whole day working for somebody else, putting money in their pocket. And then what you actually bring home, you give, you know, 30 to 50% of it to the government. And then that's the day that you don't get to work on your own stuff. So what sense does that make? Now, of course, there's times when an overtime shift is absolutely crucial, critical, definitely can make or break, you know, whether or not you are able to get yourself a goat or a new chicken or whatever it might be, new piece of equipment, something handy dandy around the ranch. But yeah, just do the math. Just do the math and see, is it really worth the time I lose? Because that's a critical piece. It's a commodity. Your time is absolutely a commodity. And you can't make more of it. You know, all you can do is defer something that you should already be doing to another time down the road. And you continue to do that and do that and do that throughout your life until one day time runs out and you wish you had more, but you just don't. But you know, each and every one of us is going to waste some time in our life. That's a fact. But do you want to waste that time putting money in somebody else's pocket? Or do you want to waste that time with your chickens? It's up to you, I guess. So maybe you're wondering what I like to waste my time doing. Well, I like to waste my time with my boots stuck in the mud, fixing the water. So as you can see, yeah, the water has been leaking on the ground. Made things an awfully mucky mess. Now, why did it do this? Well, we have this wooden platform we built here a couple of years ago. It was intended to be temporary. Temporary. I talk about years, right? Well, now this is sunk and settled over time, and now why does it do that? Well, because we have a 500-pound miniature pony on that side and a 1,800-pound beef on this side, and naturally, you know, the scales are going to do what they're going to do, and it's tipped this way. And now it's been spilling water, and I've been meaning to come to this for probably 10 days, and I just haven't got to it until now. And I was really thinking about how I was going to do this, and then I got out the old farm jack and just jacked it up, and Bob's your uncle. Now the farm jack is something that for years I wanted one, for years, but they were not cheap, right? So I put it off and I put it off and I put it off, and finally this year I went out and I bought that one, and I've used it maybe a half a dozen times already just since I bought it a few months ago. And I mean, on projects that were like critical projects. And it got me thinking, like, what was I doing before I had this? Like, did my life even exist in the reality in which it is right now? Or like, how was I getting by? And the honest truth is, there was major projects that needed to get done that I did not have this tool, which is totally the right tool for the job, that just didn't happen, right? And that's what I'm talking about when things just get deferred, they just get pushed down the line, and critical things that really, you know, could lead to the further success or benefit for your homestead, just straight up don't get done for $70. So now I'm gonna level this thing. That'll get us through this summer, and our temporary project should get a concrete slab next summer. But not if this kind of nonsense keeps up. Anyhow, you know I'd love to stay and chat, but I gotta waste my time with a cup of tea right now. So I'll let you go for now. I hope you have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.